subscribe and, like the video.
And these guys will still say DEI, as is the case with this situation. What we're talking about here with this specific crash is literally that. Virtually every single person involved in it is a white dude. And it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter if they were, if they weren't all white. Like, my point is, DEI is a ridiculous argument to make regardless. It comes with the notion that, like, people who aren't white men are actually somehow being uplifted to these positions that they don't deserve because they're not white, because we have, like, racial quotas or whatever. That's what it is. And the irony for the ATC especially, and even the military, because they say they're DEIing the military too sometimes, but the irony is that these towers are so consistently understaffed. So if there's any sort of lowering of the hiring standards that anyone has ever lowering the hiring standards that they've had in the past, it is directly due to the need for more hired help on this side. Okay, it is insane. It's understaffed and it's underfunded, and these guys are, in spite of these potentially quote unquote lowering of restrictions that people are claiming is occurring, they're still understaffed. Why the U.S. people are so addicted to skin color? People, it doesn't mean culture that matters. That's funny. It's just crazy to me because, like, God forbid there is a woman or a black person involved in any high profile incident. Oh my God. That's all. Like, these guys lie about it when there isn't a black person or a woman involved. I don't know what's going to happen when there is one. You know what I mean? Yeah, here it is. I can't remember the last time I've seen the military withhold a casualty ID. Unfortunately, the reason the family would make this request is all too clear and credible. The U.S. military official told NPR on Friday that at the request of the family, the Army is not going to release the name of the female member of the 3-person helicopter crew. The official was not authorized to speak publicly on the matter. Yeah. You know why. What are they hiding? What? America First? What are they hiding? Says Patriot Vac Services. Patriot HVAC Services. Okay. No. This is a chatter. This is a you asshole. Stop. Patriot HVAC Services. Come on. This is definitely a Hasanabi head who made this account, right? Like, as a meme, as a joke about, like, something I joke about all the time. Rare Tyler on political take.
Actually, I feel like after CNN started popping off is when a lot of this started happening. Maybe CNN is the problem, because it's like how old people like have like Fox News open all day, right? And then Donald Trump will like come up there and
what is CNN?
Like, the Earth is flat, and then everybody who watches Fox News is like, the Earth is flat, baby. Let's go. The Earth is flat, boy. I told you. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like CNN is might be the problem.
What is CNN? Zico streamer has been doing news, hence ZNN. It's Zico News on drama in OnlyFans. ZNN is Zico's news channel about classic WoW. Okay, while I have no idea what the hell any of that means, I do like that Tyler understands the mind-melting powers of Fox News. And he uses it as a negative. So both of those things are great. Tyler wants still the GOAT. You already know what it is. Anyway, Rosa Boomer. Every single person involved in WoW Classic or Hardcore, whatever it's called, is literally 40 years old. This game has been out since I was a child, and most people in its player base are at the average age of the World of Warcraft. The average player base of World of Warcraft Hardcore Classic is quite literally 43. Why is it 43? It's classic, as in it's the original version. As in, they brought it back so that all of the 43-year-olds who constantly complain about, video games no longer hitting as hard because now they have bills to pay and taxes to pay and how much that sucks, can feel like they were a child once again for the 6 to 10 hours a day that they consistently grind. That makes them forget about the monotony of daily existence. So when you say, oh, you're a boomer for not knowing insert Warcraft meme, you're out of your mind. And yes, There's nothing wrong with it. I apologize for basically attacking every single one of you, especially MHUD. Okay. But I think if you were being honest with yourselves, you would know exactly what I'm saying and you would agree with me. You would recognize that I am correct. Now let's get back to Peter Ducey talking about Trump turning things upside down.
Operate that air traffic control tower. It's a very busy airport. They say there are about 19 currently on staff. So we have a staffing issue at the Reagan Airport, DCA. DCA, very busy airport. We have 800 flights inbound and outbound each and every day at Reagan Airport. And overall, I believe our record, our safety record, is the gold standard. But when we have an issue like this, it needs to be addressed. There needs to be some oversight from Congress. We need to make sure that if these airports are struggling with air traffic controllers, they bring it to our attention, and we can try to encourage more younger people to get into that field.
I struggle with this DEI stuff. I covered DEI when I ran campus reform.
Dog, I'm sorry. Oh, man. That's no. It's not a as a black man moment, okay? Because it's not being black and working a normal job is entirely different than being black on Fox News, okay? These are two entirely separate planes of existence. When conservatives talk about tokenization or DEI or anything of that sort, okay, they're projecting, because the only way conservatives utilize black people is to have them sit there and say, my co-hosts are not racist. I, as a black man, know what real racism is, and that is not Donald Trump, or that is not insert conservative public figure. Okay? It's ironic because he's performing that duty, performing that role right now. Now, this doesn't mean that it's like, he doesn't have merit or whatever. I think that his willingness to play the role of a black man that will defend white supremacy is the merit for Fox News. It is the job for Fox News. It's just that, it's just kind of funny to see someone being like, yeah, I don't think we should hire. Oh, he has no merit. Trust me on that one. No, the merit for us is different than what the goals are with Fox News. The role that Fox News wants him to play. That's it.
Maybe it had the original intent was good, but it's gone way too far. I understand organic diversity. I understand that some people at one point in time in history, or maybe today, were denied jobs because they're qualified, because of the race, orientation, or whatever. I understand that. But why are we trying to
what was that?
In history, or maybe today, were denied jobs because they're qualified.
It's crazy to hit a maybe on that. Like when you're talking about historic job discrimination, like you're literally black, dude. Like what is happening? What do you mean maybe? Like you have a black mother and a black father. You have a black grandfather and a black grandmother, two of them. What the hell are we talking? You got relatives. Like, it's not that long ago. I just don't get it. I don't know how you can still hit that with a maybe. But then again, that's his job. That's his job here. Okay. That's the role. That's why he's there. And he's playing that role. I'm just saying. He's like, oh, yeah, it's DEI stuff, man. It's crazy. Let me see. This is better. Dark. Anyway, I think it's a little bit better. Yeah, let's continue.
Because the race, orientation, or whatever. I understand that. But why are we trying to...
Why are the .govs going down? They're just... That's crazy. FAA.gov is down. They're taking out all the federal... They're taking out all the federal... Wait, is that... I can't tell if... Is it real? MHUD? Is FAA.gov? I can't tell if you're baiting me or not. They're taking him down because Donald Trump issued a mandate saying you got to delete all of your DEI stuff. But I don't know why. I don't know why they would take it down. It's still up. Oh, it is up. Breaking. Trump administration officials are putting a pause on most federal government websites They're expected to go dark at 5 p.m., Trump officials told me.
Get people with mental disabilities to work air traffic control. I mean, there is a place for them in society, but a lot of the diversity push just doesn't make sense. It's not a value of diversity in air traffic control. It just doesn't. The one thing that we need to focus on is the person qualified for the job.
Yep.
Does their diverse background bring them some additional information to the job? But just hiring people to meet different metrics doesn't make any sense to me. I'm sorry.
Right. The last thing I would say, it reminds me of the story we had the LA fires, where that fire chief was saying.
I do love why. I do love, one, explaining the historic necessity for why, like, DEI initiatives originally started, whether it be affirmative action or whatnot, which is to, you know, combat racial hiring discriminatory practices, right? Hiring discriminatory practices on the boundaries of, like, race, gender, whatever. And then turning around and saying, but it's really messed up that they're doing this other thing, which is, like, not the case, right? Standards being lowered or whatever, and admitting that there's a problem that exists, explaining what the solution to that problem is, and then simultaneously pointing to the solution to that problem as a bad thing by explaining something entirely different. That's what he's doing here. He explained the historic reasons to why DEI and those sorts of initiatives exist, which is, once again, to combat historic discriminatory hiring practices. That's it. It doesn't mean there are racial quotas, or it doesn't mean that there are, like, intellectual disability quotas where they're like, we need to hire 10 people with Down syndrome or something. Like, that's not how this works at all. Okay? Especially on the racial or gender boundaries, DEI, or rather, like, HR practices that focus on hiring from all different backgrounds, is just that, a way to improve the hiring practices so that you don't immediately disqualify certain groups of individuals, as was done historically. That's it. That's it. It's all it is.
We want people to know that if you're in a fire, there's somebody coming to save you that looks like you. No, I'd like somebody that's good at saving people.
I just don't want to burn.
Right. Yeah.
I just don't want to burn.
I want to live. I don't want to burn to death. All right, so NBC has a story, and the headline is, "Fear and chaos grip federal workers as Trump rapidly remakes the government." Donald Trump has said, as you know, we've been covering this, he wants to...
I don't get it. I don't understand. I mean, I guess, like, if you have nothing, this is, like, exciting for you. I don't know. They're like, yeah, we're lighting everything on fire. It's so sick. It's like, it's not. I don't think it's sick. I don't think this is good. I think this spells disorder and chaos, which is bad. But what do I know, you know? But I guess when you're a rudderless ship, when you are a rudderless ship in terms of your politics, in terms of your political ideology, I don't get it. You're just, the only thing you care about, I guess, is that you're, you know, the only thing you care about is, oh, fuck. Trump is removing HIV data sets from CDC. Could seriously affect HIV prevention efforts. What happens if all the people in these federal jobs say and walk out, full collapse? I'm kind of stoned right now. Yes, that's not going to happen. Damn, do they tint your brows? Hold on. I'm so tired this morning. Holy shit.
In the work from home practices. So he offered the deferred resignation, where you get paid through September if you resign by February 6th. There are only 6% of our federal workers that are working full-time in an office. So that's why Donald Trump is doing this. Now you have these Democrats that are saying we're living in fear. Everything's so chaotic. But my question to them is, are you fearful about lower prices? Are you fearful about tax breaks? Are you fearful about not paying tips? Not paying taxes on tips or Social Security checks or on your overtime? Many of you work overtime. Are you fearful that Donald Trump's going to get rid of criminal, illegal aliens? Why are you scared?
And they're worried about, if you're a federal employee, they're worried about their future. Well, because Donald Trump asked Elon Musk to cut $2 trillion out of the budget. They accused Donald Trump of the first 4 years of not cutting like he did. Tax reform, I believe, was working to do that, bring more revenue in, but they never got to the tax cut because of the pandemic. So what he's doing now is to look at the 2.3 million people working for the federal government. They all got emails saying you can quit, we'll give you 6 months, which, by the way, is way too generous, I think. But come to work, you're fired, or take the 6 months and just write in your subject line, say resigning. So that you should feel fear and loathing if you're not doing a good job. But if you like your job and are doing good at your job, you can keep your job. But this is part of a whole of government push to lean it out and bring our budget in line with $36 trillion in debt. You should not be fearful unless you're coasting. If you're coasting in your job, be fearful. But this is Elon Musk sleeping in the Eisenhower in the office on the couch like he did with Tesla, trying to fix it. He's trying to fix the government the way he did SpaceX.
Well, something is obviously going wrong, Ainsley. We just had Americans die because it wasn't properly staffed and they weren't focusing on the right thing. Other agencies are going through something similar. It's just not a harsh job or a deadly job that could cause death, but other harms are happening in the government currently.
It's just sad we had to figure it all out this way.
We begin this hour with breaking news. Minutes ago, CNN confirmed that the FAA has indefinitely shut down the low-altitude helicopter corridor that was in use at the time of Wednesday's mid-air collision that killed 67 people. CNN has exclusively obtained 2 videos that show the crash from angles we had not seen before. They're right here on your screen. You see the Army Black Hawk helicopter on the left, apparently flying right into the path of the American Airlines plane. And here's another video capturing the moment before the impact. The helicopter is traveling over the Potomac River as the plane makes its descent to Reagan National Airport. And some experts are wondering if the Army pilot was confused by the other bright lights and didn't see the approaching plane, perhaps confusing it with another plane. Also this morning, the New York Times is reporting that the Black Hawk may have strayed off course. Quote, the military helicopter appears to have been flying too high and outside its approved flight path at the time of the crash, according to 4 people briefed on the matter, but not authorized to speak publicly, end quote. NTSB investigators have recovered both the voice and data recorders from Flight 5340.
This also is like breaking people's brains because it's a military helicopter that crashed in and that crashed into the commercial airliner. Also on top of that, it was it's in DC. Also on top of that, they were saying that they were doing like a regular training session or something like that. What is it, like a continuity plan? So all of the, I suspect, all of the greatest minds, all the top minds of conspiracy are aching to make this into a very, very big deal. I mean, I get it. If I was a conspiratorial person, I would look at the situation and go, this is it. I've hit it big. Continuity of government. Yeah. It's just like fatal training accidents happen. Oftentimes it doesn't lead to this many civilian casualties. And oftentimes it doesn't lead to this public of an affair. Right. But goddamn, dude, this is like, oof. For conspiracy talk, this is the greatest day of all time. Okay. Hey, go to census.gov. Yeah, they're taking out all of the websites one by one currently. Okay. I think, at least, it seems like some of them are coming back.
And hope to have a preliminary report ready within the next 30 days. CNN's Renee Marsh is at Reagan National. Renee, what are we learning about this FAA action to close the helicopter corridor?
Right, Pamela, that is the latest development here as this investigation is underway, and this is quite a significant move, the first significant aviation safety move since this mid-air collision outside of Reagan National Airport concerning the airspace surrounding the airport. Now, this airspace that has been shut down by the FAA is used not only by commercial airliners coming and going from this airport, but also military aircraft as well as law enforcement aircraft. But in light of that mid-air collision, the FAA has made the determination to close traffic to anything except for those commercial aircraft. And you talked about this other new reporting that I'm sure investigators are also going to be looking into, which is whether or not this helicopter left the proper altitude that it should have been. And if this deviation away from the altitude that it should have been at, this Black Hawk, is actually confirmed, it would certainly mean that the pilot of that Black Hawk was not following flight regulations at that time because these helicopters are supposed to be flying at very specific altitude, 200 feet or less. And so that is certainly something that investigators will be zeroing in on when they retrieve the black box from the Black Hawk helicopter. That has not been retrieved yet, but they have retrieved the black boxes from the commercial passenger plane. They are already starting work on that. It is in their labs. They have opened it and they've begun the process of reviewing the data from those black boxes. We know that investigators say that they are confident, based on the condition of the black boxes from the commercial passenger plane, that they will be able to get data from it. Also, the NTSB is tapping into their expertise across the country. We got word today that they have tapped one of their members from Alaska. They have flown that individual in. He is a former pilot of a Black Hawk helicopter, so tapping into his expertise on that. And of course, another crucial part of this investigation, Pamela, is going to be the air traffic controllers. We do know that the NTSB at this hour, they have not yet had interviews with the air traffic controllers, so that is soon to come. Pamela?
And there was this near miss the day before the collision between an airplane and helicopter. Tell us about that.
Right, just further highlighting the complicated airspace that is the airspace around Reagan National Airport. It was just the day before this mid-air collision that another passenger plane coming in for a landing had to actually abort landing because another helicopter had come too close into its path. We have the sound from the air traffic control for that incident. Let's take a listen.
This is a helicopter over Georgetown, northbound, 300 feet.
Hey, Tower, we had a RA, but 4514 is going around.
We had an RA with the helicopter traffic below us.
So clearly with this, the incident that is being investigated today, you have that previous incident. It has clearly become evident to investigators that this complicated airspace, something needed to be done more immediately, even though this investigation is ongoing. And Pamela, again, that headline today, the FAA shutting down this airspace around Reagan National Airport to those military helicopters.
Yeah, that's a big development. Renee Marsh, thank you. And our next guest is a former air traffic controller who personally shut down New York City's airspace on 9/11. And he may have been the first person to realize America was under attack that day. Michael McCormick joins us now. Thanks for your time. So as a former air traffic controller, what was your immediate reaction when you learned about this crash and subsequently as more evidence is coming in to process?
Pamela, just like the rest of the country, I was absolutely shocked when I learned of this mid-air collision, especially with the loss of life on board.
Conspiracy talk is booming.
You expect me to believe that a Black Hawk helicopter...
This has 945,000 likes, dude. I'm so cooked. We are so cooked. Dude, we're done. We're done. We're done. Wrap it up. Wrap it up. It's over. Wrap it up, dude. Yo. Is satire?
...collided with an American Airlines flight in DC's most monitored and secure airspace. An American Eagle flight that was en route from Wichita, Kansas. Does anybody know about what's happening in Kansas right now? You know, a major Traburka, you know what outbreak? Putting that aside, I just so happened to track the helicopter's path as well before you were unable to all of a sudden.